We've all seen the incredible tricks and jumps some of our community members are able to pull off using the Trimping mechanic in TF2. It's an incredible show of skill, dedication and persistence. It takes a deep understanding not only of the Demoknight's weapon capabilities, but also the source engine itself. As a person who spends too much time playing the only official medieval game mode map, DeGroot Keep, I felt miserable thinking this jump is the only proper one you can make within the entire map. So I took the liberty to spend some time alone on the map and see if I can discover some new paths that may give me an advantage in the future against my opponent. And oh boy, did I discover some crazy stuff. Because there are quite a few jumps and tricks, I felt it is only fair to rank them ranging in difficulty, and while all of these rankings are subject to my opinion, I will give each jump a rating of easy, medium or hard. After all that, we will move on to bonus jumps for other classes, and one that the greatest Demoknight to roam the earth has showed me is actually possible after I deemed it not to be. Obviously, most of these jumps have been found by lots of people, but upon doing research on YouTube I could barely find anything. Nonetheless, no credit taken for what I am about to show you. The very first jump is going to be the one everyone knows. The one that changes the lives of more than 200 demomen every single day and opens up the gates of freedom, welcoming them to the world of endless possibilities. The Rock Thing Jump. The most vital jump every single brave Demoknight must learn in order to provide his team assistance by defeating the army of bows that stands between the blue team's ability to capture the first point and death. What makes this jump easy is that it is very hard to fail. This jump is the best one to start with if you are a beginner Demoknight. You can perform the jump by simply using your shield's charge and running at the rock. You can, however, also do it by jumping prior to hitting the rock and hitting your charge just before you hit the boulder in question. Now, even though this is where most of the honorable Demoknights end their trimping journey, there are a few more simple iterations of this trimp to help you either ambush your enemies on the high ground or quickly approach either of the capture control points. If you perform a long strafe to the left without hitting the left castle tower, you should find yourself on the top floor instead. This can help you backstab any sniper that is trying to shoot down your teammates on point A. If you, however, extend the strafe at a slightly lower angle, you can find yourself standing on this tiny roof. The last iteration of said jump can be done to kill any freshly spawned enemy that takes the left route from their spawn, as it will ensure you land in front of their unsuspecting face. Before we proceed, please take a moment to visit my completely overhauled Discord. I will be giving away many hats over the upcoming 7 days, so check the description, hit the link, and I'll see you there. Now that your life has been changed for the better, let's move on to another rather easy trick any shield-wielding madman can perform. I call it the Spy Corner. The name comes from the fact that you can overlook the entire B point from this spot, but the enemy will most likely never spot you, as if you were a true spy. It's a relatively easy jump because it only requires a simple strafe to the right to land it. There is a much more intense way of getting there, but that will come later in the video with the hardest difficulty ranking. If you ever find yourself having to flee from the point B, or rather want to surprise the blue team's foe that just spawned, you can always fall back to this simple trick. The only thing you have to do right is to hit the bottom of this rock where the slope between the rocky material and dirt meets. From there on, the game will do its thing and you will find yourself flying in no time. The last particularly easy jump I have for you today is this. While this is often used to perform a surprise blow to the blue team, you can also use these darkness-covered stairs to flee from the castle to the safety of your spawn. That is, of course, if you have enough health to land on your feet. Hopefully you haven't found any of these particular tricks too difficult yet, because it is now time for us to move on to what I consider to be medium difficulty jumps and explore way cooler possibilities that DeGroot Keep offers. Remember how I just showed you how to surprise the red team's enemy exiting the spawn through the left path? Well, did you really think we will let them escape through the right? It's time to do the same, but for the enemy exiting on the opposite side instead. At first it might look like a difficult jump, and even though it is by no means in the easy category, it is still one of the simpler tricks here. As long as you perform the same old long left strafe, but instead hit the sledge, you should always land where intended, because the floor extends just enough for you to catch a glimpse of its beautiful clip rush. Talking about extended pixels, The second jump is even cooler. Even though it still relies on the main focus of our video, the rock, you will have to strafe multiple times while in the air to keep your height and land on top of this window. From here, you will have the entire castle in your palm. If you recharge your shield, you will be able to attack any enemy with a single charge. Also, do know that you can climb down if you take the window to your left, or entirely skip it with a jump and land on the wooden part instead. To take a break from our casual flight routes, take a look here. A lengthy yet straightforward leap can take you from here to here, and vice versa. To an ordinary plebeian, this location might look like a stupid staircase, but for a Demoknight, this is the holy grail. The next two jumps are within the medium tier, hence they will be covered just now. But there is also a hard one that we will also get to in just a second. By refusing to take the staircase and instead taking this concrete railing, you should be able to get on our so far very much beloved tiny roof. However, if you end up taking the stairs, you can still prevent from taking the full staircase and leave your enemy in awe with this trick. Some of the tricks so far have had a great impact on the game and will provide you with not only great outplays and escapes, but also great compliments from the crowd. But as Chinese philosophers would say, it's all yin-yang, man! So of course we cannot get ahead without discussing this rather useless but cool method of impressing the town girls. By taking the rock and twisting your wrist, your feet can touch the roof of this house. Problematically, you can only stand on the very edge of it, so landing it for the first few times can be troublesome. Regardless, with some practice, you will be able to perform it consistently at ease. What's cool is that you can also proceed to walk the edge of the roof, but be careful. If you try to move any further than the roof allows, you will fall down. Even though you are now able to dominate DeGroot Keep like never before, your secret weapons lie ahead. Only the most skilled Demoknights may venture forth and face the wrist-breaking, neck-turning, awe-inducing tricks. The first trick within the hard category has a great practical use. It is aimed towards the offensive team, and if you land into the spy's corner, you will be able to assess if any of your opponents are guarding the B point before having to fight them. You can also use the spot to surprise enemy snipers camping the roof, because you can actually jump back. This jump is far from being as useful as the first one. It is also quite hard to achieve, which is why I never use it in practice. While it does not require serious strafing, I found it very difficult to ensure the speed I carry over into the wall hit to not blow me back so far that I end up hitting the ground. If you are fighting close to point A, but hear a cry for help towards B, you may perform this rock hitting sequence to quickly aid your teammates. It is particularly difficult to land this hit consistently, but if you feel the risk of losing your shield for an attempt to save your team is needed, be my guest. Before we continue, consider subscribing, as only 6% of my viewers have actually hit the subscribe button. Thank you. This means the world to me. The following two jumps will prove just how little sometimes you need to gain a quick advantage or save your life. By hitting these few stairs, you can either get on this little shack, or if you are feeling braver, land on these sticking poles. It's also possible to reach these poles as Pyro or Scout, which I will showcase in the bonus trick section coming up. Our beloved tiny roof provides us with many possibilities. The one that I found easiest to perform consistently is this. A quick little jump from the darkness and a nice little strafe will allow you to hit the top of the castle and either escape your troubles or catch up to a fleeing enemy. The same jump can be performed from the very top of the castle. However, the trick here is to not prematurely use your charge to ensure you gain the right momentum. Fortunately, this is not where the possibilities end. If you fancy a few more strafes, you can get past the entire castle wall and get to the lower end of the map. Before we move to my absolute favorite jump, you should know there are at least two ways to reach the spy's corner. The first one, of course, utilizing the tiny roof. The second way is to use our previously covered stairs of darkness. Both of them are rather difficult, but can be useful within the right scenario. Now, my favorite of them all. The ultimate trick that every hardcore Demoknight should be able to land in their sleep. The one I call... This trick is very difficult to land. It took me so many tries initially I thought I won't be able to land it and it will not make it into the video. Fortunately, I was able to. By learning to spread your wings, break your wrists and fly high, your soul will be able to teleport from the very bottom of the castle to the very top. This trick requires intense strafing to gain the right height and you absolutely need to crouch to land on the top floor. It also has a lot of usage because it will allow you to kill threats from above, get out of the locked castle quick, or simply flee the scene if all your allies fall to the sharp blade of the enemy. With this, the official Happyrain's Ultimate DeGroot Keep Trimping and Tricks guide is over. But of course, that's not all. Before we head on to some bonus jumps that were either just bugs of the map or could be performed by other classes as well, let me give you a 30-second rundown tutorial on how you can practice these tricks very fast, without having to play an online game of TF2 and have infinite charge at all times. Firstly, open up your console and type map cp DeGroot Keep. This will load you into the map. Upon entering the server, type sv_cheats1 into the console. This will allow you to execute further commands that are needed. This command is needed to ensure there is no round timer, so that you can practice as long as you want. The next two commands I bound to my keys to ensure faster usage. One of them is no clip, the other one is impulse 101. With no clip you can fly through the map and get to the parts you need to visit, while the impulse 101 command will recharge your health and shield meter. There is also the possibility to teleport yourself to a particular spot to ensure you can repeat the same jump over and over in quick succession, which I will explain further in the description, where you will also be able to find all of these commands. Now, back to the video. I tried performing this one trick to no avail, but then I had a brilliant idea to tweet at Solarlight, arguably the best Trimping demo man ever. Being the awesome community member that he is, he replied very quickly with a full solution. This jump should be extremely useful to attack the opposing force from point B. So let's give a big shout out to Solar. Thanks, dude! Here are a few bonus jumps I was able to find so that you non-demo man enjoyers can use. The first one is a quick little jump from the top of the castle that can be performed by Scout. You can get on the wooden railing, double jump onto the window and try your luck at the even further one. Most classes are actually able to get onto the tiny roof just from outside their spawn. The heavy is also able to do the same while wearing the grooves, or instead taking the upper level of the castle. The one class that can do it from many more angles, places and locations is of course Scout. Now this one is for the brave assassins. From the very top of the castle, you can jump on this window and overlook the A point. You can also drop down further and press yourself against the wall to land on the window residing even lower. Another similar but much cooler jump can be performed by Pyro with the power jack or a Scout. You can use the height advantage you have here to land on the extended poles, just like the demo man on the other harder jumps of today. Editor's note: I completely forgot to note that one of the easiest jumps any class can do is actually landing on this pole right here. So go enjoy this one. The Pyro's extra speed carried over from the power jack can also provide him with this long jump. It does require a little bit of soft strafing, but is definitely doable for anyone. If you enjoy exploring maps, especially where not many are able to, equip your base jumper and shield, because Demoman Airlines are visiting the Batcave. If you enjoy these tricks, please take the time to express your opinion on which map should be covered next. I intend to explore the next one with all classes to ensure not only Demoknight is covered. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and goodbye.